has extended the state of emergency for another 7 days after a storm has hit the northern part of the island last week.
Officials have described it as an unprecedented natural disaster. More than 400 people are still not accounted for.
Absolute devastation on the East Cape and Hawke's Bay region. We are getting reports of people sheltered on roofs, with military helicopters rescuing them.
We've just been informed that the New Zealand team is going to finally be able to fly out from their home country. Up until now, it's really been touch and go. We just didn't know if their airport was going to remain open.
No, it's been really tough actually for us as a team this week. We had to fly out on Wednesday morning with a few team members not having heard from family in the Hawke's Bay, East Cape region after Cyclone Gabrielle, so the situation's still unfolding. Many people still haven't heard from people, and communications down everywhere, cell towers, etc. So we're here racing this weekend, but our hearts and minds are definitely back in Aotearoa.
It's just been a really surreal time. You know, New Zealand's had two massive events in the last kind of 3 weeks. So yeah, I think in saying that, we feel incredibly lucky to actually be here. And yeah, this weekend the team's going to be wearing an armband out of respect for everything that's going on back home.
Listening to Pete talk about the flooding and devastation in New Zealand and getting emotional about it, I understand that. And for him to get emotional is a rarity. For him to show that in front of a crowd is even more rare. And I think that just goes to show how important his home nation is to him, how much he feels for everyone back home. And if you look up and you've got your national flag on your wing and you're out there representing a country that's suffering right now, it would be even more significant for them to put on a good performance for everybody back home.
Race 1 and the Kiwis are in the middle of the pack, battling for every inch. Wow, really tight going into gate 2.
Oh, there we go.
Well, I've got a feeling the Kiwis are going to be fighting for more than just points. They want to make their fans happy back home. And if there was a Grand Prix they'd love to win, it's this one in Sydney.
Yeah, there is something that we feel as a team when the thoughts are with us, and if we can send those thoughts back home when others are doing it extremely tough, yeah, it's just a little way that we can acknowledge that.
Forward not coming. Push it forward button. Up, didn't show.
Oh, Todd, look! Disaster on the New Zealand boat. The dagger board on the left of your screen, it's just not locking.
And Stevie, you know you can't carry on sailing like this. They'll have to either fix it or retire.
Fires that are coming up. Not sure it keeps going back down. The high reset it. Gonna go try and all the way back down. There's no stuck button, right? Brake pressure low. Hey, tech team. Copy. It's good now, it reckons. Hey, we'll try and go again here. Yeah, we'll go this down. Now. Still.
You can hear the frustration coming off the boat. You know, the Kiwis, they call out they're retired from the race.
Hey, tech team, we're retiring here. We can't get our starboard board up, so just get everyone keep an eye on us and someone can start working on it. Great.
Yeah, we're just requesting access at the moment, Pete, so we'll get there when we can.
Oh no, New Zealand are retiring their boat. It's not the result we were expecting for this weekend. Not when you really wanted to make your nation proud.
Hey, just gonna cycle it a couple of times. Let's go again here. It's working for some reason.
Oh, wait, hold on, look. It looks like New Zealand might have fixed their problems. The dagger board's working again.
Well, but they are dead last, Stevie, and it seems like their race could be over.
When we're racing, we very much believe that you've got to go out there and make things happen. So yeah, I think if you looked at the style of racing, we're not afraid to take a risk or to do an extra manoeuvre to try and get a pass.
I can't believe it. New Zealand's back in the hunt. Spain is a distant 8th, but they're getting closer and closer.
They're fighting for every point. They're in last. Their boat's not working properly, and they're fighting, and they're so close to just overtaking the Spanish, even though they said they're retired from the race.
What a comeback for the Kiwis to fight for just a single point.
It really gave everyone the motivation to just try that little bit harder. As a group, we've got a lot of trust within us that if we need to pull off something a little more complicated, that we'll be able to do that and make the more tricky decisions work.
Race 3, and it's yet another overtake for New Zealand. They've had a good performance in the previous race, but it's been very hard to sail with the uncertainty of your daggerboard.
I agree, but this team still wants it.
I don't think we've had any issues yet. Potentially could happen again with the boards, eh?
End of racing for the day, and New Zealand, well, they end up 6th overall. Not a great finish, but they've been fighting with mechanical issues.
I think we're pretty proud of the way that the team bounced back, getting a couple of solid scores on the board and keeping us on the hunt for tomorrow.
Well, we regret to inform you that the KPMG Australian Sail Grand Prix has been cancelled. Yesterday, a storm destroyed part of our infrastructure. Thankfully, there have not been any casualties or major injuries.
The winning points for this Grand Prix have been awarded accordingly to yesterday's results, so France has been declared the winner of the KPMG Australian Grand Prix.
Everyone works so hard to put an event on, and what we see on television is 9 teams with 6 athletes on each boat, but what we don't see is that massive tech team that turns up at 6 a.m. and leaves at midnight, or sometimes pulls all-nighters. You don't see all that, and those people aren't the ones that get the praise, but they're the ones that work for 9 to 12 months before an event happens to make sure those athletes can show up and do what they do. And for me, that's who I felt for.
Now, up until now, it seemed that New Zealand had a secure place in San Francisco's final, but finishing 6th here without the opportunity to come back on day 2 certainly has weakened their position in the overall leaderboard. Now, they'll have to battle with another 4 teams for that golden ticket to the grand final.
Yes, I agree, but I don't think their head's in that space right now. The team came here with a really clear objective. They wanted to pay tribute to a nation, and this storm has deprived them of that opportunity. But let's not forget that this bunch of the All Blacks are sailing. This team, they don't fall on their feet. They've got that Kiwi character that keeps them driving through these challenges.
Our karakia was a special one where we acknowledged, especially those team members that have family in the Hawke's Bay, and just sort of made sure we were sending strength back to them. So it is challenging, but it also brings us strength as a group.
Getting in a circle like that and pausing for a moment, it makes us, obviously think about everybody back home and what they're going through, and hopefully some energy comes out of that can help them in some way. We really take that with us, and we feel the nation behind us, and I hope they feel like we've got them covered over here.
We're not a huge country, and everyone knows someone who's massively affected by this. So I think it is important just to respect, people that are close to you or friends who are affected by it. So yeah, we're privileged to, support New Zealand.
The events that have happened here have hit everyone on this team pretty hard, especially considering everything that's going on back home. But I think that'll just pull us back together. It's something that we're an incredibly resilient bunch, and I think we're really excited by the challenge now with the leaderboard tightening up.
As a sports person, you're representing a nation, but you're also a role model. People are looking at you for advice, to see what you do, to see how you react, and they're also looking at you for hope. And so for the team to be able to represent their nation and also speak about the pain that's going on in New Zealand, it raises awareness, it gives people hope, and it also raises the question for other people, what can they do to help?
The Kiwis have a lot of respect for one another, and when times are tough, everyone's always eager to help out if they can, no matter if they know the person or not. So obviously just keep thinking about them and sending lots of love back to Aotearoa at the moment.
The thing I love about our group is, I suppose, been through a lot of challenges together. So,
You know, when we get something thrown at us, we're not afraid that we've got the skills within the group to really be able to deal with those situations, and you know, it just shows the character of the group we're starting to form.
You know, some of the stories we have been hearing of, you know, especially people from East Cape to Hawke's Bay, seeing, you know, communities kind of getting behind one another, and you know, people going massively out of their way to help each other. You know, it just makes you incredibly proud to be a New Zealander.